Thank you, Josh. Okay, well, welcome everybody. I'll just go through the roll call again, just to be sure. Obviously myself, I saw Lorraine, Henry, Karen. Okay, no Karen, Anna. Gloria, I saw. Ann, I saw. Is there anyone else on that I haven't mentioned? Okay. Well, welcome. We'll call to agenda, call the meeting to order at 2:05. Let's see. First thing we want to do is approval of the August 30th meeting minutes. Did everyone get a chance to look and review it?
I'll make a motion to approve the August meeting minutes.
Right? Do I have a second?
Yeah, I second.
I had Gloria and Henry, so we have a second and a third. The August meeting minutes are approved. Thank you.
Mhm.
Do we have any public comment? Okay. It's gonna be a very short meeting, guys. I have been so tired and I haven't really done a heck of a lot since the last meeting, unfortunately.
David, I thought I was going to be called up as vice chair.
Well, it's funny because I mean, like yesterday, if I had this meeting yesterday, I was so tired that I mean, I could barely hold my head up that I
Oh,
probably
that's
said
horrible.
no. But then today, I feel quite a bit better, so that's a good thing.
Oh, gee.
Oh, you know what I want to ask, Gloria, is everyone okay at the senior center? Any more cases popping up over there or just?
No, because I was there for a meeting today and there were probably about 15 of us in the meeting and everyone was fine and no new cases. So
Good,
Oh, that's
good. I had told them that I wouldn't be back this week at all because I don't want to endanger anybody, even if I turn negative.
Mhm.
I would say. Okay, so old business, the Bridgewater Housing Associate crosswalks update. As of the last meeting, we had heard from Kim Williams that the painting of the crosswalks would happen,
Mhm.
and they were going to be looking into the possibly improved signage at the crosswalks. It was be on their to-do list. What do you think we should do for a follow-up to them? Because I don't want this to go on forever and ever like some of our projects. So I'll throw it out to you guys. How long should we wait? Who should we address it to and go from there? So comments?
I think what should happen, David, is a follow-up letter to maybe Kim Williams, just seeing if they can pinpoint some kind of they said we were on the priority or the
Okay.
housing, authority was on the priority list.
Okay,
They could just pinpoint exactly what does that mean, and this is of an urgent nature. So
right.
something, so go back to her, from her original comments, and just see if we can kind of pin them down to some kind of a time frame, because obviously winter will be arriving before you know it. We don't want to
Right.
wait for snow and this and that and whatever, and it's of an urgent nature, so.
So let me ask you this, Lorraine. I think we should obviously have it come from the entire Disability Commission, our state.
Yes.
Do you want to include anyone else that we have in the past as part of the group?
What I would do is I would CC Colleen Doherty, because I wanted to mention that I did hear from Stacy Driscoll, who's on the Bridgewater Housing Authority, one of the commissioners.
Yes.
And she said they were going to address it at their last housing authority meeting, which they
Okay.
did. And she told me a letter would be coming in support of this from that board. So
Okay.
I'm assuming Joan Newmeister is the chairman of the Board of Commissioners. So I had just mentioned that, well, if you can CC David Frem, our chairman, when you do draft that, send out that letter so we
So-
could be aware of it,
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, we're
So
sending it to
basically-
Michael Dutton, I meant to say.
So, no, that's fine, and Kim, and we should basically hold off and wait for that letter from Stacy then, and tie the two together?
Do you want me to do this? Do you want me to try to track that down and see where they're at? I can contact Colleen Doherty if you want.
Yeah, why don't you
Send her an
do that?
email, find out if something was drafted.
I think
And
that's a great idea.
yeah, I could do that. Let's take it from there.
And
And then,
that gives us a little more strength of having that
Yes.
BHA group behind us also, besides just the disability commission.
that's exactly what they were thinking, you know, so they wanted to be a part of the process. So what I'll do is I'll contact Colleen Doherty, shoot her an email, CC Joan Newmeister, find out where they're at with that letter. And if it could be drafted, you know, sooner rather than later, if they haven't already, CC you. And if you do receive it, send it out to us, and then we can move from there, you know?
Okay, now, that's a great idea. One comment I have, I was at a meeting last week, they had, I can't think of her name, but there was a woman from the town of Bridgewater, an engineer, that was looking at some projects that could, whether it be landscaping or major projects for the senior center. And one of the things they talked about is a crosswalk going from the senior center and directly over to the pickleball courts. And they were talking about possibly doing it in a multicolor and brighter to make it more effective. And I'm thinking, well, there's not that many people that walk back and forth over there. I don't know why on a major street like Main Street in Bridgewater, we
I
can't
know.
go for it can't cost that much more for the multicolored crosswalks. And also I've been looking at the signing and it's very lame over there. So
Mhm.
I think we need to incorporate, signing,
Yeah.
a better, more vibrant crosswalk and so forth, in our letter. Henry or Gloria or anyone else, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I think the one on Main Street is a lot more important than the pickleball.
Oh, yeah.
People
Yeah.
that ball aren't generally handicapped.
The only thing going about the pickleball, which is going to make it more effective, eventually they want to add, and they're considering adding more activities over there, like a bocce court possibly,
Okay,
maybe horseshoes, and a variety of other things that will make it more active over there. So, and then they're also thinking of doing possibly outdoor restrooms, whether they be attached to the building or, closer to the pickleball court. So there'll be more people walking back and forth with all these kind of things going on
okay, that explains it.
eventually. Joe, is there anything else we could discuss about the crosswalks, or does that cover it all?
Covers it.
It pretty much covers it. The next thing, we had talked about it last week, and I want to ask, how deeply do we want to get involved with this? Shembad Baumgarten has suggested adding a verbal walk, don't walk for the visually impaired at the Central Square crosswalks. We had discussed this briefly at our last meeting. Do we feel that's something we want to pursue? The actual crosswalks in downtown Bridgewater around the green are fairly freshly painted. They're not vibrant colors. They're, just the plain white. The signing is all right, but there's some issues with in that the way the cars are at a 45-degree angle heading to the sidewalk, it's actually kind of hard to see people in the crosswalks until they're well into the street. And then there's one crosswalk, I forget the name of the car repair place, it might be M&S.
Yeah.
That the crosswalk actually crosses right into the driveway,
Mhm.
which seems to be kind of a hazard in itself. So do we want to go for everything? Do we, and complain about the many variables here? Do we want to talk about the verbal walk, don't walk for the visually impaired? What do you guys think?
I think we should advocate for everything that makes it easier for a handicapped person with whatever disability to be safer in town.
Mhm. I agree. I
Well,
totally agree.
I'm,
Yep.
I'm glad to hear from you and welcome on board, Karen. Let me ask you this, Karen, who should we be, if we're going to go after this, we should go after the town council. Who else?
Um, Well, within the town, I guess that's who we would talk to first.
Right.
Mass Office on Disability may have some resources that we can share with town council.
So let me ask you this, Karen, and the current crosswalks right now are pretty freshly painted. The majority of them do have a sign that's pointing to them, you know, to show that there's a crosswalk there. Do you feel within the confines of ADA that that's sufficient? Should we go for more? What are you thinking? And, you know, how aggressive should we get?
I'm thinking that if we had somebody with true low vision, that would be completely inadequate. That there
Okay,
needs to be some sort of auditory signal. And I just agree with Sam on this. We do have some folks who like to get their coffee downtown, walk back to wherever they're going. Hopefully the low vision folks aren't the ones who are driving, God willing, but they are walking.
Mm.
And it's important that we make sure that everybody in town is safe. It
Let me
might
ask you
be
this.
inconvenient, but I think safety comes first.
Okay. What are other opinions? Lorraine, Henry, Gloria, anyone else? Anything like that?
I agree with Karen. We have to, our commission is all about including everybody, you know, with a disability issue. So, obviously, we've been prioritizing the crosswalks at housing, but, it should involve all the crosswalks in town, pretty much.
Right.
Obviously, the center of town is a major issue.
Yeah.
So,
And Anne can probably speak more to, you know, any problems that they run into with pedestrians and near misses or getting hurt trying to cross, because I know some of our folks with disabilities crosswalks more slowly. And
Right.
while it is a traffic flow challenge, we also want people to get from one side to the other safe. So
Right.
I really don't know the correct balance to manage all of that.
mhm.
Actually, surprisingly, and I hate to say it, but we haven't had a lot of, I mean, we have reports of people not stopping.
Right.
but
Right.
Luckily, no near misses or
Yeah.
anything. that
Oh, that's
happened,
good.
so.
Yeah. I do know there are some low vision students on campus now that the pandemic is over. And I know this because I have one in my class. I have to provide adaptive materials. They have an adaptive reader so that they can access the curriculum in spite of their vision challenges.
Mhm.
What accommodation, out of curiosity, what accommodation says BSU done for low vision students on the campus?
A lot of it uses technology for the classroom, and that's where I'm more involved. I genuinely don't know about the mobility issues on campus or the signage. But when I'm on campus, I'm either in my office or in my classroom. They don't let me out. So I don't get to explore much. And I don't even have to go anywhere for food. The robots can bring it to me. So I cannot speak to that, but I know people who can. So if we want to find out what Bridgewater's doing for just mobility on campus, I can certainly reach out to Jenna Shales
Okay.
in our AAC and find out.
Mhm.
I wish I could have that robot deliver food to my house, by the way. I've been dying to see how it actually works when it arrives and so forth.
Yeah,
kinda-
I live close enough, but it won't come up the 2 houses to come to my house. I have to have it on campus.
So David, the question that I have is, wasn't there a crosswalk study that was done a couple years ago or way back? Who was it that brought it up to our committee one time that there was an actual study out there about crosswalks?
I think it was Carlton Hunt, possibly.
Okay, yep, you're right. I believe it
No,
was.
I'm pretty sure it was Carlton.
So the
And he
question
brought up
that
a
I
couple of
have
those
is,
studies.
where are we at with that study and, you know, how much has been crossed off of that so-called like to-do list or priority list? Or my question is, how do they gauge, you know, how do they determine, you know, what's a priority issue and what goes on the back burner?
I
you know?
don't think that they had it, well, according to my short-term memory, I don't think that they had any more in-depth details for the crosswalks downtown other than to just repaint them. I don't remember there being any information about having anything more fancy than just the painting of the crosswalks. And they did go through the crosswalks, what was it, about 8 months ago, whatever, and painted around the college area and in downtown. I'd have to look more deeply. I'd also like to ask Karen, would you be interested in writing up something that could be like our draft of what we send to the town council and Mike Dutton?
Sure. And I was just thinking when you were saying that, I remember Mike Dutton saying something about changing some, I'm going to use the wrong words because there's a technical term for it, but changing some of the sidewalks so that there are bump outs so that people are not trying to cross from behind cars. They're actually closer to the road.
Right.
You probably know what that's called, but getting them like out from behind the cars before they were also talking about moving one of the crosswalks down near the housing because it actually ends in a driveway. It ends in the wrong place. So I remember there was a discussion about relocating at least one end of that.
Right.
Mhm.
I mean, we're talking like, we've had this discussion, and I'm trying to think, Lorena, Henry, you could fill me in, but we've been talking about this for well more than 2 years now, I would say.
It's been a while, and we did address that crosswalk study, and I think it was Carlton Hunt that
It was,
had furnished us with a copy of whatever date that was, and
right.
I'd love to be able to revisit that and take a look at that and see where we're at today,
Sam Baumgarten, and I think, I'm not sure if he's using the weight of BCCR behind him or what group, but he was talking that he would, be happy to help us out and join us to get a little more strength when we talk to the town council. So that's good to know also, because the more help we get and the more vocal, the better off I guess we'd be.
I know I was kind of vocal with BCCR, like, you've got all of these other categories. There are some social justice issues related to disabilities and ableism. And are you going to include that? And so maybe they're responding to comments like mine, because I don't think I was the only person who brought that to their attention.
Well, that's a good point. Evie is very into that too, so she would be interested, I'm sure.
Yes.
Well, good. So we'll count on you, Karen, for coming up with a draft of, how we could word this. And I'm very appreciated. Is there anything more anyone would like to bring up in regard to that?
David, I'll actually look through because I only have thousands and thousands of emails.
I know.
I'll actually try to sift through them and see if I can find that crosswalk study maybe. That was
Okay,
forwarded
I'll
to
look
us.
back too. I will look back.
Maybe we can all take a look and we can send it out to each other and just take a look and see where we're at with that.
Good. The next thing I had was upcoming Disability Commission Zoom events. And I try to always forward them to everyone. So one of them was a disability summit. It was a program sneak peek, and it was accessibility in a digital world. It's going to be held at Mass General Brigham at Assembly Row, but they're also doing virtual option available. And it's Thursday, October 27th from 10 to 1. And, they were looking for sign up. So I believe I sent that out to everybody. And if you're interested, please sign up. Did anyone not get that? Okay.
And I've already signed up for that, Dave.
Oh, great.
Good. It looks really good. I'm going to be away, but it looks very good. I definitely would have wanted to attend.
Okay.
And it's kind of I'm kind of like checking off two boxes with that. Not only is it relevant to this commission, but it's also relevant to some of the work I'm doing with my students. So,
That's excellent.
Oh, good.
yeah.
Good.
The other one came directly from Jeff Dugan, and it was Community Access Monitor Training, CAM. It's virtual. This one's 100% virtual. And it looks like it's November 2nd and November 3rd from 9:30 to 2:30. Did everyone receive that?
Don't remember if I did or not.
I can resend that. So I'll
Okay.
take Lorraine. Anyone else?
I didn't get it either.
Okay, Gloria. So I'll resend that to everyone. Basically, it's hosted by the Pittsfield Commission on Disability. The training will take place on Wednesday, November 2nd and the 3rd, from 9:30 to 2:30, both days. They just want you to sign up as soon as possible for spacing. So after the meeting today, I will send this out again.
The question that I have, David, I know it's 2 parts and I think we attended it years ago.
We
Do
did.
you have to attend both sessions though, both days?
Let me see what it says. Hold on one second.
Yeah,
But it sounded like when I read it, that they just happen to be when I'm teaching, so I can't.
right, yeah. I mean, there's some great information, but it's just, I think it's a full 2-day commitment though.
Yeah, it's very general. It just says the 2nd and the 3rd. So it
Yeah,
does sound like a 2-day commitment.
I think it
They
is.
said-
That was the issue.
I didn't print the attached flyer, so I will resend this to you. The
Mhm.
training dates, times, and process for registering are provided within the attached flyer. So I'll just resend it and I'll give you more details.
Okay, that would be great. Thanks.
Okay. Karen, I know we talked in the last couple of meetings that during the summer break, CPAC would not be available. Have they reached out to you since school has come back in session?
No, I reached out to them. Didn't hear back. I'm not sure whether my availability or their availability, I'm not quite sure what's going on. So I'll just keep trying and let you know.
Okay. I will remove it from the agenda going forward because I don't want to just keep bringing it up, but if you.
No, I think don't keep it on the agenda because that way
okay.
if somebody's reading the minutes, they know that we are curious. We would like to interact. So I think it's good to have it on the agenda. The fact that I don't have anything to say is not good, but I don't want them to think we've completely given up on
Given
it.
up on them. Okay, I can do that. I just need everyone's help. Agendas for the next meeting. Agenda topics for the next meeting in October. What would you like to see us talk about? Would you like to take charge of one of the topics and, get back to me with, that particular topic and I could add it to the agenda? I just like to, maybe break up and share the workload a little bit if you agree. And, where do we want to add? I like to make these meetings as full as possible. Today's is a little bit shorter than sometimes. And I just could use everyone's help in, breaking it down and picking up additional information topics. So who would like to go first?
David, I will not be at October's meeting, as I had mentioned to you. I'll be away.
Okay.
I will, start thinking about some topics and things that we can add to the agenda. I will definitely do that.
Okay, I appreciate that, Lorraine. Anyone else?
Dave, the only thing I'm thinking of based on our conversation about CPAC is just some loose ends.
All
Like
right.
the Jackie Hunt situation is still a loose end. And the other loose end is in regards to Evie DeLutis's question about hearing and then Sandy Chachi's time spent with the commission talking about how do we manage hard of hearing people in town meetings or at the senior center. And, thinking about, when we're talking about some of those things, we're not talking about people who are deaf from birth. We are talking about older people with acquired hearing loss, and there's ways to help them remain participatory. And so Sandy, and I forward these to Dave, and I think also Lorraine, some resources for those and kind of where do we stand? Are we going to advocate that the town make these available? Are we going to advocate that the senior center make these available? I'm right now, maybe I'm just discouraged and it's fall, but it's just kind of like, I'm all about the low hanging fruit. We can always try something
Right.
with the senior center first
Mhm.
and demonstrate that it's well received and useful. And so maybe considering some of the things that Sandy sent. I'm not sure whether that, and that's the problem with like the different commissions. Like at some point we have to acknowledge like some seniors do have disabilities, and is that a disability issue or is that a senior center issue?
Right.
So I'm not quite sure where that would fall.
Well,
but
it almost kind of crosses over, I would imagine.
it does.
Yeah.
I know that, when I worked in hospitals, we had these devices in the emergency department and in the intensive care unit, because it's not uncommon for people to show up at hospitals without their hearing aids. And in fact, it's probably the smart move because hospitals tend to lose them or break them.
Lost.
So they're commonly used in healthcare situations, at least in Connecticut and New Hampshire. I haven't worked in a hospital in Massachusetts in a while, but it would make sense that we would have them available at least for some of the official town stuff at the senior center, where there'd be a high probability that somebody might need it. And at town meeting, just to check off a box for, especially once they're back in person, to check off the box for accommodating a disability in a town meeting. I think with Zoom, that really falls on the person at home to have the equipment they need to hear what's going on.
Right, okay. Well, that's good, because you're right, we kind of left this at loose ends, you are right. One thing I did want to mention about Jackie Hunt, she was able to get, and we had talked about it, it wasn't quite really a disability commission issue, but she was kind of at loose ends about her apartment and how the rent had gone up, and she was able to get a small discount of $150 off. So that was kind of a nice thing from Waterford Village to accommodate her. And I don't know that I had mentioned it. So she did get some of the increase reduced.
Oh, and that's the other, so the thing that I was thinking about is the town's failure to acknowledge her complaint in August of 2021.
I don't believe that they've ever have acknowledged it in all this time. And in fact, I'm sure they're not, because I see Jackie often enough at the senior center, and she has never heard back up on anything. Okay, is there anything anyone would like to bring up that would be important for our next meeting?
Well, could I make an announcement, David? We will
Yes.
be, Triad will be hosting, as you know, years ago, we used to do our Health and Public Safety Fair of Expo. Well, we're going to be hosting that again on October 18th from 11 o'clock to 2 p.m. Free box lunches to the first 100 seniors. And as Ann knows, we'll be hopefully having the K9 demo.
Oh, yeah,
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
both be there.
Oh, good.
Chris will be there.
Oh, good. Wonderful. Police, fire, sheriff's department. We have some, the sheriff and the DA will be our two keynote speakers. Right now, I think we have maybe 15 agencies involved that will have tables. We'll have, the sheriff's department will be doing senior IDs. I think the fire department, they're going to be doing blood pressures. I mean, it's going to be a really nice event. And we really hope that everybody will be able to, even stop in for a while or whatever you're able to do, but it will be a really, really nice event. And we're looking for, a lot of participation. So it's a health and safety expo, October 18th at the senior center.
Lorraine, when is the last time Triad had one of these?
2017.
Really?
That
Yes.
long, huh?
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
we
not-
were doing it every other year, and then
Yeah.
I retired in August of
Yeah, COVID.
2019, so we didn't have it in October, obviously, that
Yeah.
year. And then COVID hit,
And
so,
COVID.
yeah, so we're excited to have it. We really want to, have a great showing, so.
Are you
just-
starting are you starting reservations, or is it already, or is it too early
Reservations for people to come in?
to attend? Yes.
Oh, no, there's no reservations required.
Oh, okay.
People can come in as they would like to. The only reservation would be the registration forms that the agencies will fill out. We did send one to Tom Pila, Independent Associates.
Okay.
So hopefully he'll be attending. We'll have Old Colony Elder Services, a lot of various agencies. So it
Excellent.
should be a great event. So we're looking forward to it.
Now, I was at the last one, which was like 6 years ago, and you had a great turnout for that.
Yes, yeah, that was a wonderful turnout. Yeah, it was. And then the best part of it is having the raffles, and a certain Lieutenant Schuster would always be winning them.
Only with you, Lorraine. Only time I've ever.
Oh my God. That was really a riot, and you
It
could not
was.
when your name got called again, right?
Anywhere else, my name never would get called.
I know. So it's really a lot of fun. There's a
That's
lot of
great.
different agencies, a lot of products, a lot of great things, for people to go around to each table and actually, I don't know if we're having a consumer credit counselor, just a lot of different agencies. So it should be a fun event. So hopefully they're working on flyers now, and we just want to get them out everywhere and get the word out. And
Will that be in the next Senior Center newsletter?
Oh, it better be. I hope so. Yeah,
Oh,
it
good.
has to be. Yeah, because it's
Good.
going to be here before you know it. So,
Well, thank you. That was a good thing to bring up.
yeah.
Is there anything anyone else would like to bring up?
I have
David.
two
Oh.
things.
Karen?
So one is the disability folks on campus are hosting two Be Seen events, one on October 13th and one on April 13th. And so you will see students with varying disabilities wearing bright pink shirts. Their allies will be wearing bright pink shirts to try to destigmatize disabilities on campus. And hopefully as part of that, we're still working on the assorted details, but I have gotten the go-ahead to host a mini film series using films that were made by and about people with disabilities. The first one that we will be showing is called What Was It Like?, which features individuals with disabilities interviewing their parents about what was it like to find out I had a disability.
Oh, wow.
And apparently it's very moving. And then the other one, we are trying to coordinate with some of the programming on campus. We have a large dance program at BSU. And so the other film we'll be showing is with the National Ballet Company of Australia, doing some dance things with teenage girls with Down syndrome in Australia.
Oh, that's great.
Wonderful.
No,
The thing
I
is, these
think-
movies are made by people with disabilities working hand in hand with their able-bodied student peers.
That's great. Are these in person or are they going to be like a
I'm
Zoom?
ironing that out. I think it's going to be on Zoom.
Oh,
The
excellent.
tricky thing would be, like who counts as the Bridgewater community? And that may be kind of limited by how many people we can get in a Zoom room.
Oh,
Mhm.
right.
So,
yeah.
but I definitely would love to, so it'll include anybody from BSU, and that, looking at things we've done in the past, that maybe 50 people.
Mhm.
Folks from Zach's Excel program, so maybe 50 more, maybe not, because it might be kind of touchy for them to have those conversations with their kids. And
Right.
I would love to invite the parents of CPAC and the Disability Commission, but I think our Zoom rooms through the university are limited to either 100 or 300. So I
Oh.
have to double check and all of that, but it would be one of those things similar to what I did with the racism series, is to make sure that there was like a passcode to get in so we could make
right.
sure there wouldn't be Zoom bombers,
Mhm.
which is a
Right.
horrible thing to have to think about, but that's just
Yeah.
life. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, Karen, you do such good work, Karen. That's really nice.
I keep myself busy, that's for sure.
You definitely do. Is there was that it, Karen, or did you have
That's
another?
it. Thank you.
Oh, okay,
That's
thank
plenty.
No, it is. Anyone else?
David, if I could just speak to the committee for just a second.
Certainly.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind everybody to please, feel free to utilize me as a resource for the committee,
Mhm.
especially when trying to communicate with the town manager's office. Whenever you're sending any recommendations or anything, if you want to include me, CC me on the email. That way I can just follow it up with them for you guys before each meeting. Just for instance, I shot Michael a quick message regarding your guys' conversation on the crosswalks in the middle of town. And he did respond and just let me know to let you guys know that they're engaging with the town council right now for the downtown committee revitalization project. And that's going to actually be part of the revamp for the traffic and safer pedestrian and bike access. So I'm happy to, answer questions and just get some material over to them, because they do tend to get a little bit busy, and sometimes the meetings, especially during the day, can slide under the radar for reaching out to you guys before. But I did just want to make sure that everybody knows I'm available and feel free to reach out to me at any time.
Oh, thank you. That's really nice, Josh. Can I ask you a favor?
Sure.
Would it be possible to talk with Mike and or Kim and include us with some of this information? Because we really don't ever find out what's happening. And it would be great for us to have a lot more details, because we could be going off in the wrong direction. It could be something the town's already planning, and we don't really know any of this information. So that would help.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. You know, some of the things I do with the other committees is, you know, a week or so before they're planning on meeting, they usually send me like their agenda and everything that I can, you know, sit down with Michael and Kim and just see if we can get updates, or we can, you know, I can get some answers to those questions that you might have. A lot of times if, you know, you send them a month in advance or something to just the town manager's general inbox, you know, it can stack up pretty quick and they might not be able to get to it. But that's pretty much my role right now, is to make sure that we're, you know, addressing concerns of the committee and communicating and open up those communication channels. So if you guys have some ideas for those projects, just like the crosswalk we were talking about earlier, I'm happy to, you know, put that on my list before you guys have your committee meetings, and just sit down so I can get some answers and speak with it during the committee meetings.
Great. Well, that's very appreciated, Jess. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Anyone else have anything they would like to bring up before the end of the meeting?
No, I just wanted to thank Ann Schuster for, you know, being available. I know you have a real busy schedule. So thanks.
Luckily, my court case for today got canceled. So
Oh, okay.
that ended up not being an issue. That wasn't a
Oh, I
Yeah,
was
I know, I always
pleasantly
do that
happy
when
to
I
see you
can.
today. Great.
Yeah,
this stuff.
always good to see you. Yeah.
So the next meeting date, and I know you can't make it, Lorraine, is October 25th at 2:00,
Yeah.
Tuesday. Does everyone else look good for that meeting at this time? October 25th?
Mhm.
Good. So we'll plan on that. And basically that's all I have. So motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Gloria,
I
thank
second
you.
it.
I
I
heard a
second it.
second. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for all your information, and have a good day.
David, I hope you feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. I'm
Take
sure I
care of
will.
yourself, okay?
Feel better.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.